Hey YouTubers, what's up? I'm back to finish Joseph O'Donnell's music thread. This is part 2. Question number 9. Do you prefer your records set up to where you flip through them like this, or where they're in the stacks like that? I actually like both. I mean, there's something unique and kind of special about going through vinyl in both those ways. One thing where I would kind of give this the edge a little bit is I'm finding as my collection grows, it's becoming easier and easier to buy a record, listen to it, file it away, and then that record gets lost between the 100 records on this side of it and the 100 records on that side of it. So as my collection grows, I find it happening more and more. Having this type of setup, I spend a lot of time just flipping through my stacks all the time, just pulling stuff out, looking at it. I love doing that. So this obviously makes it a little easier to get a complete full view of the front cover in, milliseconds, if you will. So it's easier to go through these stacks and just to kind of be able to get a good refresher of what's in my collection, as opposed to trying to go through the stacks this way and do the same thing. So, that's one thing I do like a little better about this. But at the same time, there is something special to me with just kind of going and getting on the stool and looking through the spines and pulling stuff out. I definitely love that as well. So you will always probably see both setups in my collection. Question number 10. Share a record collecting story you have. One of the best ones for me was the day that, let's start from the beginning. I bought a record off of eBay, Led Zeppelin 3. I'll never forget it. The guy who sold me that record told me about this auction that was going to be taking place over in Kansas City. It's supposed to be a pretty big thing, so I checked it out, and what happened was a guy died, owned a record store, and his family was just going to kind of sell everything. They weren't going to carry on the store. So they rented out this 2-story warehouse in downtown Kansas City and basically brought 300,000 records to this warehouse in boxes. And at 8 a.m. that Saturday morning, they were opening up the doors. Everyone rushed in. Every record's $1 a piece. So I decided this might be worth the drive all the way out to Kansas City. It's a nice ways from where I live. So I went out there. Sure enough, 8 o'clock, there's about 100 of us out there. We all rush in, and we're just digging like crazy. There's just records everywhere on 2 floors. And what they did was they set up these cubby holes, so once you kind of filled up your hands or your box or whatever, you take the records, put them in a cubby hole, they give you a number, and you just keep filling up that cubby hole until you were done. I was in there for a good 6 hours or so. Walked out that day with 180 records. And the nice thing about it was it wasn't over, because at the end of the 2 days on the weekend, whatever holes were created from people buying records, they just brought in more stuff throughout the week and filled it back up. So next weekend they open the doors again, and you can go and do the same thing all over again. So I was up there 3 or 4 weekends in a row and just scored a ton of records, including my record shelves. So that was a good collection story in my mind as far as my memories of places I've gotten records. Have you ever been ored? I have no idea what that means, so I'll have to answer that next time after you explain it to me. Last records you played, that's pretty easy because it's what's playing right now. Megadeth, So Far So Good, So What? Good old Dave Mustaine. Really good record, has a really good cover of Anarchy in the UK on there as well. 13, does it bother you that people say vinyl sounds better? Only when it's something that I feel sometimes people say things to try to make it sound cool that they collect vinyl, and it doesn't really make any sense. That kind of bothers me. Such as a piece I was watching on YouTube where, like a news station was doing one of those vinyl gets its groove back type segments, and they interviewed this 20-year-old kid, and they were like, why do you like vinyl? And his response was, well, I like playing vinyl because it sounds like the band is playing right there in the room. And I'm sitting there thinking, is there some new 7.1 surround sound vinyl that I'm not aware of or whatever? Because I've never heard a vinyl record that sounded like the band was playing right there in the room. Warmer sound, all of that good stuff, yes, but that comment was just so stupid to me that I didn't even, so stuff like that bothers me. Or if someone does a video, they're playing a vinyl record to post a song on YouTube, and then people are commenting below that, oh man, I love that, vinyl sounds so much better than blah blah blah. And I'm just sitting there thinking, aren't you listening to a digital signal? I mean, this is coming through the internet, through YouTube. That's not, anyway. So stuff like that just kind of makes me think, that's kind of a stupid comment just to say vinyl sounds better when you're listening to a digital signal. But anyway, that's the only time it ever bothers me. But other than that, I mean, yeah, of course, a brand new 180 gram vinyl that plays clean sounds better than a brand new clean CD. It is warmer. It is just, it's deeper. It's a lot more in depth. So I do think vinyl sounds better, obviously. But anyway, question number 14. What's the last record in your collection? Your Z section. I don't do A through Z. I do genre. So since I had punk and hardcore as my first album, I'll go to my last section over here. And let's see what the last record is. Well, this is good. The last section down there on the far corner is my band covers and cover art. That's where I keep albums that if either the cover's banned or the artwork is just something kind of outlandish or whatever. And I've actually shown this one before, but it's a 45 of Naked and Shameless, and you can see why that's in the outrageous artwork. So that's interesting to say the least. So that's the last one in my collection. And number 15, point to a random record in your collection and kind of just say a little something about it. You can do that too. Let's go with, we'll go here. And it looks like that random record came out of my grunge and hard alternative section, and it was Alice in Chains. And this is Black Gives Way to Blue. And this is a pretty decent album. I mean, especially considering, you're trying to replace somebody like Stanley. It's almost impossible to do, but yet, they actually did a pretty good job. It's definitely a good Alice in Chains album, and I certainly recommend it. It's a good 2 LP set. And, I don't know, it's worth the get, obviously. So there you go, YouTubers. Thanks for watching, as always. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see, and any questions you have. I'm always looking for ideas to post new videos, so shoot. All right, take care.